Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time.
It's beginning to look a lot like crypto everywhere you go. Take a look at the ATMs. There are thousands of them. So we can get our Bitcoin on the go. It's beginning to look a lot like crypto. Old coins soon will flow. They're not a scam, you see. It's the new economy. And I told you so. A crypto bill to pass is coming at last. Hurrah, hurrah. Hodler's Christmas wish is this. Stall no longer. Gary's a goner is the hope of millions. And Ripple cannot wait until the lawsuit finally ends. It's beginning to look a lot like crypto everywhere you go. Mobile apps are rolling out while exchanges strike out. It's the centralized exchanges we won't mourn. It's beginning to look a lot like crypto. Soon the news will start. Crypto has popularity with newfound clarity. Finally, we'll hear that Congress did their job. It's beginning to look a lot like crypto. Banks are coming soon. But the prettiest sight to see is the failing SEC. Gary, there's the door. Sure, it's crypto once more.
That was awesome.
Wow, amazing.
Are we live now?
I had to put us all three because our oh yeah, no, we've been live the whole time.
We're live. We're totally live. That was awesome.
Could you hear the words?
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted. Your words are so great.
It was perfect.
And Andrea is the master songwriter for the Hot.
Yes, she is.
She's a lyricist. That was an amazing rendition.
Now I could hear a little bit of echo when I was doing that. I hope you didn't hear it.
No, nope. It's all good. I think we'll be good. Yeah, that was awesome. So everybody, this is Kim. She's part of Two Women in Crypto, professional opera singer. So I thought we'd bring her on, have her sing a little ditty for us, get us in the holiday spirit. Especially with all of this nonsense going around, the government with Congress and all the things that are going on. So we got to bring in that crypto cheer. So we really appreciate you, Kim.
My pleasure. My first crypto singing gig.
Yep. That was awesome. Who would have thought in a million years we're singing crypto songs? Anyway, that was beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, happy beginning. There's lots of things. Yeah, lots of things going on. Are you going to dive in and tell us what's new in the world?
Yeah, let's jump into it. So kind of what I wanted to talk about today, I've been listening, the FTX hearings were 2 days. There's obviously a lot of news. All the different news outlets are covering it. And I want to go over a couple of things today. Because if I was like an average person who didn't have a lot of exposure to cryptocurrency, I would think that it's a scam. I would think that it's a pump and dump scheme with no use case. Because when I listen to the media and I listen to these newscasters, that's basically all they're saying. So a good example is I'm listening to Yahoo Finance News, and the woman is basically saying crypto has no use case. It does nothing except people buy it in hopes that it goes up in value based on perception. So it's all speculation. Crypto has zero use case. And I'm finding this narrative almost across the board, except interestingly enough, Fox News isn't doing this. It's like weird how, I'm listening to, I think his name is Charles Payne, and he does like the business for Fox News. And he was saying like how concerning it is listening to the FTX hearings, and you see the congressman come on. I don't understand it. I don't like it. We got to ban it. And that's pretty much what some members of Congress are saying. And at the same time, it's like, do they not know? Okay, crypto's been around now for over a decade. Do they not know that crypto has use cases and are providing real world solutions to real world problems? And what concerns me is that these are the folks in Congress that we are asking for regulation for.
Well, and make me pause and say, really, is that truly what they believe, or is it just the rhetoric to keep the public out of it and fearful of what we know is in front of us? For me, I can't, most of Congress doesn't have some, but who knows? But regardless, they are preaching to the public and to the choir. This is something that everybody should stay away from, and it couldn't be anything further from the truth.
Right. And it reminds me of back during the .com era when the newscasters would be like, no one's going to get a computer. No one's going to have a computer in their house. No one's going to buy anything on the internet and put their credit card on the internet. It's a scam. It's a fad. It's going to go away.
Right.
So here at Two Women in Crypto, we're here to tell you that there's a new internet being built. It's called the Internet of Value. And the new internet is being built on the blockchain. So it's just another layer of our current internet that's going to be able for us to send value through the internet to each other in a peer-to-peer manner. Not only that, but businesses are going to be built on top of the blockchain. I know it's hard to wrap our heads around it, but I'm going to go into some pretty serious use cases today to show how these cryptocurrency blockchains are going to be solving real world problems. So we're going to dive in, and this is going to be so much fun because I had no idea, like some of this stuff, when I see some of the use cases, and there's so many more use cases that haven't even been developed yet, right? So we know we're still early.
Right. Yep, absolutely. And none of this is financial advice. We're just absolutely understand what's in the world.
Yeah. Do we look like we should be giving financial advice to anyone? Ding, 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 ding. No.
No, but we look like and are great entertainers.
We are entertainers, But what we do is we're encouraging everybody to do some digging and do some research on some of these projects and gain some knowledge. Because what I see being in IT for over 20 years is we are in the process of the greatest transfer of wealth the world has ever seen. Okay. So when I think about the blockchain and I think about some of these projects, and I'm going to jump right into XRP first. And let's talk about the XRP Ledger and some of the projects, one in particular that's being built right now on top of the XRP Ledger. And just for clarification, because we were chit-chatting before we went live, so Kim had a great question, and she was like, so the XRP Ledger is the blockchain for XRP, right? And that's 100% right. Okay, so the XRP Ledger is separate from Ripple. Ripple is a software technology company that has built an alternative to our current SWIFT system and for cross-border payments and for like settlements. Okay, that's Ripple. The XRP Ledger is run by the community and developers who are building businesses on top of the XRP Ledger, just like developers are building businesses on top of Ethereum. Okay, so we have Ethereum, we have XRP Ledger. These are all like layer 1 blockchains that are standalone blockchains that you can build applications on top of. And what I found was really interesting, I came across XRP Healthcare, link below in the description, because this is really, really cool. Like Kelly and I were kind of like, like, so we all know.
Interesting to watch.
So interesting. And we know that healthcare is failing. We don't have good healthcare in our country. It's extremely, extremely expensive. People that rely on pharmaceutical medications, a lot of people struggle to get their medications on a monthly basis. So a bunch of developers that have nothing to do with Ripple built an app on top of the XRP Ledger and now is providing a mobile application for your healthcare. You can have telehealth services, and you can also pay for a monthly subscription, and you get the price of your prescription drugs almost at cost. Now you might ask, how can we do this? Well, here's the deal. We're cutting out the middlemen. That's what the blockchain solves. We're cutting the middlemen out. So when a pharmaceutical company sells its prescription drugs, there's 3 main companies that kind of market these drugs, and they all keep marking it up. They mark it up, they mark it up, they mark it up. So by the time a person has to go and pay for that medication, it's been marked up 2, 3, 4 times. So XRP Healthcare cuts all of that out. So if you had to go and get a medication that costs $1,000 through the XRP Healthcare app, you can get that same medication for now $20.
Wow.
So
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out with what. It'll be interesting to say, sorry guys, we have a little bit of a delay here, but it would be interesting to see how this will play out with, you and I talked a little bit about it, and I didn't do the deep dive with the program that Mark Cuban has got for prescriptions and what's going to just play out on that, because they'll be in direct competition with each other between the XRP Healthcare and Mark Cuban's plus cost or whatever it is, his prescription. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
No, and I think it's because I jumped in. So Mark Cuban, we all know he's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He's part of Shark Tank. And what he was doing, and this is like a major disruption to our pharmaceutical company. So Mark Cuban developed this drug cost plus program. And again, it's an online digital pharmacy that cuts out the middleman. So it's the same thing. Now, I did not know this until I was doing the deep dive, you guys. But do you know over 1 million people have signed up with this program? Over 1 million people already. This online digital pharmacy is available in 48 out of 50 states. So there's 2 states that aren't.
He's done a great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is fabulous. And this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see, and I don't know if Mark Cuban's company is on the blockchain. That I don't know, because I know XRP Ledger, it's the first like pharma company. I mean, it said specifically for XRP Ledger, but I wonder if it is the first, because I haven't seen any others. But Kelly, when you mentioned Mark Cuban, I was looking into it, and it's a little different. It's more like an online pharmacy where XRP Healthcare is actually giving you your healthcare. You can pay for this healthcare platform, every 3 months, or you pay for a year. And I think it was like $140 for the whole year to have telehealth and to get the drugs at a major discount. But even with the online digital pharmacy that Mark Cuban came up with, same thing. He specifically was talking about a leukemia drug that's over $2,000 a month, and you can get it now for under $20.
Yeah, so it's huge. I mean, there's a lot of, the healthcare system in general is so broken, as we know, as you've mentioned. But he's really anchored in. It would be curious, because of how involved he has been in crypto, if it truly might be involved with the blockchain somehow, and he just hasn't come forward with that information. I can't imagine he wouldn't say anything about it, but.
Yeah. So I tried. I'll keep looking. It's really difficult, with some of the new technologies. And again, until they're ready for some of these things to go mainstream, we just don't know. But, with the XRP healthcare, they have their own token, okay, because this is decentralized healthcare. So you will have a decentralized application. So we have to remember that Ripple, the company, when you're using XRP to settle payments or for cross-border payments, and you're doing it from bank to bank, it's centralized. And I believe it probably should be, because the governments, again, we want things to be transparent, but they're not going to do that, right? But with the XRP healthcare, now we have an opportunity to get a digital ID that is decentralized. So we are in control of our identity on the XRP ledger, and we choose who gets what information. And that is the beauty of all of this. And you can argue with me and say XRP Ledger is centralized and all of this stuff. And I'm sure to a certain extent it might be, because they all are. But this is what we have, right? So we can't change, what's happening, but it's better than downloading the Fed app and just centralizing your ID to the Central Bank of the United States. You know what I'm saying?
I do have a question if you have time for it.
I love this.
So with an XRP Ledger, you can get a digital ID that's decentralized?
Yep.
And then where do you use that?
So you would use that, like, say you wanted to sign up for XRP healthcare, you would sign up for the program, but they're not collecting your data. They're not collecting your information. Your identity is your own.
Okay, so you'd use it to get the XRP healthcare if you wanted.
Right.
Would there be other uses that you anticipate
on the XRP ledger?
Yeah, on the any other uses for the digital ID through XRP?
That I'm not sure. So
I know this is all new. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So when I think about, I think this is something that Kelly and I are going to continuously do a deep dive, because before I do anything that has to do with my digital identity, I want to make sure that I'm using the most decentralized platform that is available to us.
Right.
And yep. But when I look at the XRP Ledger and I look at some of the use cases with NFTs, I mean, then we're looking at decentralized finance. And Kelly and I were talking about this because now they're releasing their like AMM, like automated moneymaker. So we're seeing DeFi, decentralized finance, come to life on the XRP Ledger. So soon we'll be able to go into DeFi on the XRP Ledger and we'll be able to stake our XRP. We'll be able to provide liquidity to the XRP Ledger and earn income passively by just staking our XRP in a decentralized manner where we control our keys, we control our crypto.
That whole thing is decentralized.
It's all decentralized.
So it can't crash like FTX and all those others.
It could crash, but so any of these projects can always fail, right?
Okay.
Because if the developers back out or they run out of liquidity, if the SEC says XRP is a security, we're not sure like the ramifications of all of that. But right now, and I'm seeing the development of this happen, I think that the XRP Ledger has a really, really bright future. And Kelly and I posted that video last week. Jim Rickards, he is not pro crypto, but when he went over every single blockchain, proof of work, proof of stake, and then he talked about that federated Byzantine agreements, he said that is the best blockchain. So there's only two
and
that I
for those of us that may just be sorry with the delay, I just wanted to mention for those that are just tuning in, if you go to our YouTube channel, you will find that snippet about the Byzantine agreement, which is really insightful to listen to. So just for those that are, we'll include a link to that in the body of the notes for the podcast.
Yep. Thanks for that, Kelly. So, and again, it's just like when I think about, we're coming to an end in 2023, and maybe next week we'll do a recap of like, just kind of like summarize the whole year in review. But when I look at like all the different side chains that are being built on the XRP Ledger and how it's going to connect and interoperate with all of these other blockchains, we're seeing the ecosystem get built. So 2023 for me is a year of building. We're going to have this continuous year of building, and then we'll see all these systems connect, and it's going to be like this frictionless internet of value that we can just it's going to blow our minds, and it's going to become a part of our daily lives. Most people just don't know it yet. So I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I think that, this is like a huge, huge use case. And again, I love to see solutions, real solutions to real world problems. And that's something that the CEO of Ripple has been saying. Like during a bear market, we want to look at the coins that we hold and ask ourselves these questions. Is the team still solid? Are they still doing development on the blockchain? What use cases do they provide for us? So these are all really good questions when we're looking, in terms of, what coins should we be accumulating during a bear market, and not financial advice. But for me, it's always Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two main players. And those are the two coins that we should be accumulating, because altcoins can get crushed. Like I look at Cardano, it's down like 90%. It could go down a little bit further. But again, I just want to keep in mind, like a lot of people were asking me if they should buy Bitcoin at 60,000. Well, now Bitcoin is under 20,000 and no one's asking me if they should buy Bitcoin. So let's, right?
I'm looking mid-February. wait for the next new and full moon cycle, January cycle, and then we should be in the buying stage. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yep. And I'm looking to see too, because I mean, there might be one more big event when you look at the timeline of Lehman Brothers. So back during the financial crisis of 2008, when Lehman Brothers crashed, it took about 5-6 months for the bottom to come in. So that puts us, I think, like that May, June, and we could have a pump and then another fail. But again, when I look at FTX and Alameda, and you look at Celsius and Voyager and Three Arrows Capital and the banks that are involved, it all is around Tether, right? We know that Alameda Research received most of the Tether that was minted in 2020. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out, but I think Kelly and I are in agreement. The bottom is not in. It's just, for us, it's just not. And it's okay to dollar cost average in because Bitcoin is still under 20,000. You know, the all-time high for Ethereum during the bull market was almost $5,000 for one Ethereum. All right. Ethereum just announced a partnership with Visa. Now we know Visa's using Ethereum for its blockchain, but now they're partnering together where you can actually create a self-custody wallet with your Visa account. So the future of finance is happening now, and our financial system is changing. We are not recovering back to the old dollar-based system. Of course, we want dollars. We're going to be using dollars for a while, but we are moving into a new financial system that is based on technology. And every single one of these companies are going to be looking to move to the blockchain. Very exciting. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It is.
All right. So with that said, I want to jump into more adoption because, again, I want to prove the point that the media, basically, in my opinion, they're just liars. Lies. Every time I turn the media on, I cannot believe some of the lies that these people are saying. You know, so again, the more fear that they push, the more I'm like, man, the bottom is almost in. Right.
Can I say something?
You can say anything you want, Kim.
So I think everybody should listen to you guys or people that are saying the same thing, because I'm talking to my brother-in-law. His whole life is money. Like, he looks into everything about it. He has different savings, financial, whatever. And we've talked about money through the years. And I bring this up to him, and it's like he has a wall. It's like, no. And he's a critical thinker in many ways. You know, we've had great conversations, but he's just got this FUD has worked on him. And he could really be losing a lot of potential money because he has a decent amount to invest in hodling and everything that you always suggest. So it's just amazing to me how effective the lies are with even very smart people.
Yeah, and we trust, like the thing is, like, the masses of people trust the media, they trust our government. You know, like when I listen to the Bank of International Settlements, you know, which is the central bank of all central banks, they just made an announcement, and they said, and you can tell this, you know, to your brother-in-law, listen, the Bank of International Settlements made an announcement by 2025, all banks are cleared to hold 2% of their reserves in cryptocurrency and digital assets.
Wow.
Yes. So now 2%, right? Doesn't sound like a lot, but 2% of a lot of money is a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money.
Yes.
we're seeing this transition of our current economy moving into an economy that is more leveraged on technology. With our mobile apps, where do you think these mobile apps, they're all going to be built on the blockchain? You know what I mean? And we're all going to have a mobile app on our phone where we're going to be able to go and buy our goods and services with our QR code on our phone. And again, you don't even need to know that transaction just happened on the blockchain. We'll use our Visa card. We don't know the back end of the processing of what goes on to settle that transaction. But that transaction settlement is being taken over by the blockchain.
Wow.
I was out in the community speaking to a couple of long-term financial planners in the community I work in, and none of them, not one of them, are leaning into this conversation. It's amazing to me. Not one of them. These are individuals that are managing major portfolios for people, and there's no inclination or interest in leaning into what's happening on the other side of this. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, and that's why we show up every week and we keep talking and we keep telling people the future of finance is on the blockchain. Listen to our songs, like look at some of the white papers, like you could look up XRP Healthcare and look at their white paper, look at their roadmap, look to see when they're about to go live. Because again, we're looking for use cases, and once there's more and more use cases, all of that utility will probably be done with that token on that blockchain. That's how the value of these tokens are going to go up. This is not going away. Crypto is not going to zero. And when there's so much fear, so much uncertainty, and so much doubt, we dollar cost average, because now is when millionaires are made. Right? Not when Cardano is over $3. Let's not forget, ADA was over $3 for one token. Now it's under 30 cents. So we could accumulate our ADA. We can stake it on Yuri wallet or ADA Lite wallet, connect it to our ledger, make sure it's super safe. And we are now earning passive income by helping secure the network. And that's just one example. Okay, it's the same thing with the decentralized finance applications. We can provide liquidity for the XRP Ledger now. And again, we can help this ecosystem grow. And we're going to get into this. I'm probably going to do like an early 2023, like a deep dive with the Flare network and really get into some of this, because our world is changing and it's changing quickly. And I can understand like people who are near retirement or people who don't have you don't have an education or an understanding about the financial system, because the financial system was designed this way. Our education system was designed to not educate anyone about money. Maybe you learned how to write a check. So like Kelly always says, we got to step out of line. We got to step out of line, and we got to educate ourselves, because education is power and we can make decisions.
Yeah, be bold. Be bold, people. It's a time to be bold, not a time to be meek.
That could be another shirt, Kelly.
Be bold.
Buy Bitcoin.
That's right. Be bold.
Step out of line.
That's it. Step out of line. Step out of line, because again,
absolutely.
Like when I'm looking at all of this, and again, I want to jump into real quick. I want to jump into Algorand. So I saw some news. Let's see. I think I have my notes down here. Yep. So Algorand just partnered with a major bank in Italy. Okay, they're going to be providing bank insurance guarantees. You go to the bank, you deposit your money into your bank account. That money is insured. by FDIC. Now, when you go to the bank in Italy and you deposit your money into the bank, that bank is going to be insured by Algorand. And this is the beginning.
Wild.
This is wild. This is wild. But, yeah. So it's just, again, it's kind of like, it's hard to wrap our heads around this, but the world is changing. We're not going back to the old. We're going into something new. And hopefully this is something better. You know what I'm saying? Something really cool too, and again, in terms of adoption and why crypto is not going to zero, Danielle Dixon is the CEO of Stellar. She made an announcement that they are using their partnership with MoneyGram to directly send humanitarian aid to the people of the Ukraine in a peer-to-peer manner, sending USDC directly to the people of the Ukraine using the Stellar blockchain on the MoneyGram app. You could go to any MoneyGram location in the Ukraine and swap it for any currency that you want. Those fees will be settled in XLM.
That blows my mind.
Right. Now, so then we got to put our thinking caps on, right, girls? So we're like, okay, well, I know that the Ukraine chose Stellar like well over a year ago to build their central bank digital currencies. So are they using this crisis that's going on in the Ukraine to bridge these folks for universal basic income? Something to think about. I'm speculating.
Yeah. And XLM is part of the ISO 222 program, which is being rolled out all over the world. This is a perfect example of what really the last 3 years have been about and what's going on, in my opinion. Speculation, however, but it's important to lean into that.
Yeah, and these folks have been meeting with all the major banks all around the world, and it makes sense. Like Silvio Macaulay, the founder of Algorand, he won a Turing Award. He's one of the smartest people in crypto, if not the smartest. And it's kind of like, again, it's like when I hear these people over and over again, it's just the lies that these people say. And it's like, well, Silvio Macaulay, he's from Italy. It makes sense that the Bank of Italy and probably a lot of the banks and maybe the central bank digital currency will be built on the Algorand blockchain. So this is speculation, but we know what happened, right? In it wasn't Ecuador. Who was it? Ecuador? El Salvador.
Nigeria?
They made Bitcoin. What's that? Yeah, El Salvador. So El Salvador back in the day made Bitcoin legal tender. But when you did a deeper dive, you understood that they built their infrastructure on Algorand. And it kind of like it was all about Bitcoin, but here's like the payment rails being built using Algorand. Okay, so when you're in these DeFi systems, right? When you're in these systems, you're using their native tokens to have access to participate within their ecosystem. Okay, so these tokens are going to be used. And whether that's Algorand, Stellar, XRP, Ethereum, Polkadot, Cosmos, they're all winners, in my opinion, unless a major thing happens. Okay, but all of the major failures that I've seen, even with Terra Luna, it's all connected in one way or another to FTX, to Sam Bankman-Fried, by over leveraging and basically just embezzling our money. I mean, that's basically what they did. And when I listened to the hearings from day one, if we all put money on FTX, they immediately gave it to Alameda Research. Did everyone sign a contract when you joined FTX, giving them permission to do this? No. Did we give permission to FTX to give the money to Alameda Research so they could buy off the politicians to get what they want? Now, are these politicians that received all these fundings, and it's not just Democrats, it was mostly Democrats, some Republicans took the money too. Where are they? Are they giving the money back to the customers? Because I saw Christian Gillibrand, who's part of like the, framework with Loomis, putting together regulatory framework for the United States and cryptocurrency. She received money from FTX for her political campaign. She made an announcement, I donated the money to a nonprofit. No, you got to give the money back to the people. That's the right thing to do. So shame on her and shame on all of them. None of them have given the money back. So I'm waiting.
Oh, no, there's a long haul. I mean, it's going to be a long haul. There's a politician here that also received quite a bit of money from FTX. So there's, it's going to take a long time, and it'll go into the coffers before it reaches the people.
Oh, without a doubt. And we know and we started the podcast last week. It took 14 years for Enron holders to get some of their money back.
Yep.
Now with that said, here's some potential good news. Binance made a bid to buy Voyager at just over $1 billion. The offer was accepted. Now, I'm doing the deep dive because I really I loved Voyager. Kelly and I recommended it for a centralized exchange. It was really user friendly. It was a great app. I loved it, but we knew that there was problems, and we told everybody, get your coins offline, get your coins out of these centralized exchanges. Voyager, Celsius, it's not looking good. BlockFi, not looking good. And it's kind of like the Department of Justice is on the fence of whether or not to go after Binance for compliance issues, potentially. But here's the thing. There was a huge run on Binance because of all the FUD. Binance was fine. Binance was fine. So maybe they are solvent.
Well, and there's two arms of Binance. We've got to remember that. There's the US arm, and then there's the European arm. So they have different guidelines for those of us in the US than they do of those that are in Europe, too. So they make it a lot more difficult for US citizens to acquire coins and things of that nature than, other things. So there's a lot going on behind that. It's just not one entity. I think it's broken into a couple parts.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I even heard that there's FTX had a couple of smaller subsidiaries that are still solvent. So I want us all to keep our eyes out. I'm curious to see if Goldman Sachs is going to buy one of these subsidiaries, because large investment and banking institutions are going to be like vultures. This is how they make money. When companies fail, they buy these companies at pennies on the dollar. And it's one of the best investments they ever make in their lives. And Kelly and I and Kim are here to encourage you to dollar cost average. I'm not saying mortgage your house. Only invest a little bit of money. But when you're in the game, you tend to follow it more, right? You tend to do the research once you actually own a little piece of Bitcoin or Ethereum. And I've been seeing all this FUD, and someone had tweeted, it amazes me that 10 years later, no one understands the use cases of ADA, Chainlink, and XRP, right? I mean, no one understands the use case of Chainlink. Chainlink it's connecting the old legacy system to the new legacy system to pull real-time data. Hello, fourth industrial revolution is happening right now based on data. Chainlink, in my opinion, will be a huge winner. Huge winner. You need an oracle to pull the data, and Chainlink is the major one.
Another very basic question. Is Chainlink? What is it? Is it a blockchain? Is it
So it's an oracle.
an oracle?
Yeah, so think of it, I think a really good example, and that's a great question. So when we think about Chainlink, think about the Associated Press. All of the news is constantly being fed through the AP press. So Newswire, and then news people can pull that information. This is real time. Real time news information can be pulled and then put on the blockchain. Okay, same thing with like if we're betting on, let's say we're going to place a bet and we think that the SEC is going to lose the lawsuit to Ripple, right? And I bet $5 that that's going to happen in March. And if I win, I get $10. That real-time data is all Chainlink. It's all Chainlink. In order to have smart contracts be successful, you need an oracle for the data. That is Chainlink. So if we think that smart contracts are going to be a huge part of the new financial system, we want to hold a little bit of Chainlink, because we can't have these sophisticated smart contracts without it.
Got it. Thank you. That was very clear.
Thanks. Sometimes I'm good at explaining, other times I'm not.
You did it good.
So to me, it's just super exciting. It's so exciting. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. All right. So and again, I'm encouraging everyone. We put all of this adoption, right? So we went over XRP Ledger. We talked about Ethereum. We talked about Algorand. All right, well, let's talk about VeChain, because we haven't touched base on VeChain in a while. There's so many different projects. And when we look at all the problems that are going on in the world, we're having liquidity issues. We don't know if our banks are solvent. I've been hearing a lot in the community about, hey, I went to go transfer money to a different bank and they're making me wait 30 days for that transfer to happen. And I'm like, that is that was news to me, unbelievable. And then again, supply chain issues. So when I look at, well, who's going to be able to solve some of our supply chain issues, I think of VeChain. So VeChain came out with a new partnership with Mercedes-Benz to work towards a zero carbon footprint with cars in the near future. So they partnered with another company called Hydro, and it's a tag, trace, trust based solution. And then there's a company called DNV, like DNVL. They are one of the largest logistics companies in the world. They have been partnered with VeChain almost from the beginning. Now, we need, I think, 5G to connect and create the Internet of Things before we really can see VeChain blow up. But I'm telling you guys, it's coming. They're laying the fiber across the street at my house right now for 5G. My tiny little town of 5,000 people is getting prepped for the infrastructure for 5G. So when you hear your local city council people and the state government tell you this is great for fast internet, that's a bunch of BS. 5G is for Internet of Things, to connect the sensors for automated driverless vehicles, because everything is getting automated. For the algorithms, the drones, all of this stuff, you need 5G. So another reason I think 2023 is going to be a year of building. I do see some of these utility tokens like blowing up, right? Just because there's all of this adoption happening behind the scenes, and we are transitioning, I could see some countries going live with their central bank digital currencies in 2023, 2024, not just China. And there's again, it can be used in a good way, or it can be used away. So this is where we got to make our voices heard. I wanted to share a really interesting story. I heard David Schwartz, he's the chief technology officer of Ripple. He posted an article that a lawyer mom, took the kids to Radio City Music Hall in New York City, and they do facial recognition now. In New York City, if you want to go see the Rockettes, the Christmas Spectacular, Girl Scouts, they facially recognized her. They didn't like the fact that that law firm had a lawsuit against Madison Square Garden. Wouldn't let her in. Wouldn't let her in. She wasn't even working on that lawsuit. She just worked for that law company. So we can see how they can use this technology to deny our rights. And David
I think it's an example of everything. Sorry, I have a horrible delay. We're in a terrible windstorm and it's extraordinarily cold in most of the country. But
yeah, the weather's crazy.
when I saw that, I mean, if you think you're walking down the street and if you think that you're not being profiled through these devices that are in your grocery store or on corner cams and everything else, you're fooling yourself. You know, if you go to the grocery store, even the self-checkout or whatever, they all know who you are. So I think that, I mean, but when I saw that article, I was like, well, that just shows you, folks, if they think that you're involved with somebody they don't like, they're not going to let you do anything. It's fascinating to me. It's wild.
Yeah. And it was encouraging, though, in a way, because like I saw David Schwartz post, like, this is hell, like we're in hell. And it's like, you know, even though they're developing the technology for central bank digital currencies, I think their hearts are in the right place. I think it's the technology is neutral. It's the people who control the technology, right? So if the so if the Federal Reserve Bank wants to control us, right, when they start giving us universal basic income on a larger scale, they're going to tell you how, when, and where you can spend your money, and probably have a programmable time limit to it. And if we think this is out there and this is conspiracy theory, they're doing it in China right now. They put, you know, they're not encouraging people to save, because like if you don't spend all of your digital yuan in a certain amount of time, they're taking it back. They're taking a piece of it back. So, and I think they want to roll this out worldwide. Now, I think if the United States wants to stay in power, and this is me dreaming, being idealistic, but we can totally stay in power. All we have to do is stay freedom focused. If we're the only country that doesn't roll out a central bank digital currency that is like under this like dystopian authoritarian regime, everyone would move to the dollar because it's freedom. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but I like to dream and I like to put it out there. You know, we don't know for sure, but at the same time, this is another reason why I'm interested and I invest in cryptocurrency, because I don't want to be 100% reliant on a central bank digital currency. What if they pull the greenback, all those dollars out of the system? We're going 100% digital. If we don't have money in XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other tokens, we're going to be reliant on this central bank digital currency where they can tell us where to go and how to spend our money. And I'm not okay with that. And neither are you guys. That's why we're here. So again, we want money in both systems for now. Cool. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. So let's see, I think I probably missed like 1,200 things.
There's a lot to cover all the time.
Oh, I wanted to make another point, because This is so cool, right? So doing these podcasts, it helps me learn. So when I was looking at the XRP healthcare app, did you guys know that a lot of the medications that are sold all around the world are actually fake? They're not the actual medication that you order.
No, I didn't know.
And I think part of this is because we have the world reserve currency here in the United States. Our world is very different than a lot of other countries. So if other people are hustling trying to get medication for themselves or their families, a lot of times it's not real. So the XRP healthcare app solves this problem because they can track and trace and reduce the amount of the shenanigans that's going on with our medications that's happening.
Wow.
And that can build trust in the new system.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right, so let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. So Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested the day before he was supposed to go and speak in front of Congress. Caroline Ellison, her dad was a professor at MIT. He was Gary Gensler's boss while Gary Gensler was working at MIT. There's charges put against her and the other leader, I think what was his name? Gary Wang. So there's criminal charges out against both of them. I do believe Caroline Ellison cut a deal with the powers that be in the United States. Like we saw her drinking coffee in Soho not that long ago. But it looks like she cut a deal and Sam Bankman-Fried is like going down the river. So I also looked up Sam Bankman-Fried is being held at there's one jail in the Bahamas and it's called Fox Hill. So I started watching all these videos about the conditions of the jail in the Bahamas, and it's really bad. They don't even have toilets in the jail cells. People pee and poop in buckets. There's no air conditioning, there's fans. So I'm not surprised that he jumped on board and he was like, get me out of here, bring me back to the United States. He'll probably be held in the same jail that Epstein was held in, which is a very corrupt. It's that metropolitan community jail. It's a very corrupt system that we have in New York, but that's where he's going to go. And I think they were going to pull him in February, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner. And I was trying to speculate because you hear like all these different wild ideas about, oh, I'm sure Sam Bankman-Fried has his tablet and he's playing his games in jail. Now they are renovating part of the jail, but it's not live yet. So Sam Bankman-Fried, as far as I know, is in a jail cell with 3 other people, and it's not good conditions. Like I watched all these videos, and it was kind of eye-opening to see, like, just how poor these conditions are. So I don't feel bad for him. He stole everyone's money.
That's a pretty big come down.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a rich mom?
So his parents are both compliance lawyers. So this never should have happened.
Oh my God.
So it seems like, in my opinion, what do I know? But it seems like FTX and Alameda was literally formed to launder and embezzle money. I mean, that seems to be what it was for from day one. They were sending invoices through like Slack channels. They were using, QuickBooks for their accounting system that you just don't do if you're running a multi-billion-dollar company. You're not using QuickBooks. Kelly and I can use QuickBooks, 2 women in crypto, but not FTX, right? I mean, these are complicated systems. So there was no record keeping, and again, the new CEO, Ray John, I think or John Ray, his name is, he did Enron, right? So he's used to going in and doing the bankruptcy proceedings for these companies that have failed and also, shuffle through all the corruption. But he's never even seen anything like this. And he said that in the hearing. It's pure embezzlement. It's what he said. So let's see how long Sam Bankman-Fried goes to jail for. And see if, see how strong this two-tiered system is. There's rules for them and there's rules for us. And, I'm just not sure. It blows. It's mind blowing, I mean, it's just mind blowing. And it's a good reminder that centralized systems are failing and we need to keep our money offline. Get your money on your Trezor, your Ledger, your SafePal wallet. If you don't have any money because you spent it all on Hanukkah and Christmas presents, there's free software wallets out there. The Trust wallet, there's a SafePal soft wallet. We say this over and over again, but it's super important. You can do Exodus. It's free. Get your coins offline, because I'm not sure that this is over. Gary Gensler is going after, more and more companies until we get regulatory clarity. And again, with FTX, I think it's, if anything, at first I thought it was going to speed it up, but now I feel like it's just going to slow it down. And we're going through budget. We got to agree on what's the budget for the United States of America for 2023. They put together a 4,100 page document, dropped it on Congress, and said, you have until tomorrow to vote on this. You have until tomorrow to vote on this, but cryptocurrency has been around for over a decade and we have no regulatory clarity. So it's designed this way so these folks can take advantage of participating in a non-regulatory environment. When I listened to Senator Loomis and Tom Emmer also took money from FTX. Big proponent of crypto. I'm not saying these people, they probably didn't even know, but give the money back. Do the right thing, especially right now. If you want people to trust the United States government, do the right thing. Because the average person might not be paying attention, but there's a lot of people in cryptocurrency that are paying attention to every single move that these people make. So I kind of feel like the whole thing, it's theater. It's like, we're going to jump up and down and we're going to scream, oh, you did this bad, you did ba, 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 ba. But it's a freaking game. So months go by, years go by, and there's still no regulatory clarity around crypto. It blows my mind.
Well, if they want to do the right thing, and I know there's a huge delay here, if they want to do the right thing, they're not going to sign that silly bill. I mean, that's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. It's all theater. It's all orchestrated.
It's
buy
all
popcorn.
Orchestrated. Yeah. Buy popcorn, sit back and wait. I was looking at where there's like all this documentation that's going on with the Ripple SEC lawsuit. Like everything is done there. It's just, we're following the process now. Anytime in January, February, March, April, we'll see what happens. I was doing some research. I listened to this lawyer. It was very interesting. I learned a lot, but I didn't realize if Ripple outright wins the case with the SEC, XRP will have clarity, but not any of the other tokens. So Gary Gensler from the SEC can continuously sue all the exchanges and all the different cryptocurrency projects until we get either a bill passed by Congress or there's an appeal. And then the lawsuit goes to the Second Circuit Court. And if that Second Circuit Court comes out and says XRP is a virtual currency, bridge currency, utility, stablecoin, whatever it is, anything but a security, that becomes pretty much law. So in a way, it's almost like we want this to go to appeal so we can get clarity. But that could be a whole other year, you guys. Let's hope Congress doesn't do this. These tokens are going live. XRP is a currency. in every other jurisdiction around the world except for the United States. It doesn't make sense that XRP would be declared a security. It just doesn't make any sense. But nothing makes sense, right? In our world right now. And again, think of it as if XRP is going to be used as a neutral bridge currency and for on-demand liquidity for countries and banks and payment apps, that's going to de-dollarize our current system using these mobile applications with different fiats and different cryptos. So it makes sense that the SEC went after Ripple and sued them. And it also makes sense that Ripple has spent over $100 million to fight this. So this is big. This is Amazon. This is the largest cryptocurrency case probably in the history that we're going to see, unless they go after Ethereum, which it still seems like they just get a free pass, even though Paxful delisted Ethereum off their exchange because they're saying that there are securities since they went from proof of work to proof of stake. And Google, I think, holds most of the nodes now in Ethereum. So what's more centralized, Ethereum or the XRP Ledger? Do you want your digital ID on Ethereum or the XRP Ledger? I would choose the XRP Ledger, not Ethereum, not with Google holding most of the nodes. Extremely centralized. So again, Paxful is they're Bitcoin maxis here. They think Bitcoin should be the only one. It's not going to be the only one. There's so many other tokens, so many other projects that are solving real world problems. We're seeing it with Algorand, with Stellar. We're seeing it with XRP, cross-border payments, supply chain, healthcare. It's fascinating. Any other questions? I'm taking notes. I love you, Kim. You're so awesome.
Oh, I have a whole file. Alternative finance, according to TW&C. It's like such another world that I have to keep going back to it and reminding myself, because I live in this other world of consensus reality most of the time. And you're cluing me into the future. So I have to take notes because I keep forgetting. I keep going back to the old mindset.
Yeah, and that's such a good point.
We need more Kims. We need more Kims in the world.
Oh,
yeah.
We need more of you guys too.
Do what Kim does. Take notes. Yeah, take notes. This is a lot. It's a lot to wrap our heads around. But again, when I think about our current financial system, just remember it's going to connect to the decentralized financial system. Both are going to coexist. And here at Two Women in Crypto, we're helping you participate and shift into DeFi to remain sovereign citizens.
I want to tell you a way out perception that I had. So I've studied shamanism, and the definition of shamanism is that they have a foot in both worlds, the spiritual and the material worlds. And I feel like you're kind of like DeFi shamans, because you say that we should have a foot in the old system and a foot in the new system and benefit from the transition.
Yeah.
So you're my crypto shamans.
I love that. All right. Well, that could be like a new thing, like the crypto shamans. I like that.
Or DeFi shamans, whatever you think is best.
I love it.
You got to learn how to play the game, and it is both worlds, both in terms of the financial, which we're speaking of, and in terms of the spiritual way within which we walk. So both worlds.
Yep. Yes. And again, I know some of this stuff is overwhelming. Kelly and I, we do like a monthly Q&A class. It's $10. Just come to class. Just keep coming, keep learning, listen to as many people as you can. Don't trust anyone. Verify, right? Write it down. Just like Kim's taking notes, verify what we say. Make sure we say the right things. We're human. We make mistakes. Let us know, but keep coming to class and keep asking questions. So important. All right. I think that's all I
Absolutely.
got. This has been super fun. We really appreciate you, Kim, for coming on and sharing the joy of the holiday season and singing one of the songs I wrote. It's so much
My total pleasure.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I love
It was
it.
beautiful. Merry
You
guys
Christmas,
have been
happy
an-
holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
I was just going to say what an amazing gift you guys have been to me since March of this year. Just helping me see what's happening in the world. I thank you so much, both of you. You're so generous with your knowledge and your giving and your time. It's changing lives. And some of my friends are now like, are you still doing that? I think I might need to do that. And I'm like, come on over to TW&C.
Yeah. It's going to be beneficial for everyone who takes that step out of line. Step out of line.
Step out of line.
You don't have to buy crypto today. Learn about it.
Right.
100% of people who research crypto buy it because you get it. It might take a minute, but when you understand that we're moving into a new financial system, you're going to participate, or you're going to be left behind, and we don't want anyone to be left behind.
Right.
No, not at all. And we do have time, just so you know. It's not like it has to be done today or tomorrow or the day after that. I mean, we have plenty of time here. But that being said, you got to lean in, folks.
Lean in. Yep.
That's it.
All right.
Lean in, and have a happy holiday. Woo-hoo.
Have a happy
and
holiday.
Until next time.
I love it. Kim, you want to end the show and we'll just scream in all at once? You know how we end the show.
Keep hodling.
Keep hodling on, everybody.
Keep hodling on.
Hodl on.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomenencrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, huddle on.